Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale. Up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery with the purchase of any smart bed. Ends Monday. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's rock!
Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Calandro. Pilaria. And Mr. Toby Tomplake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day.
It's hump day.
It is hump day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hey, Alondra.
Hump day.
Yeah.
How excited are you for the Humpty Bump?
I am so excited.
It's hump day.
As a true 90s girl at heart, I figured you would.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I love the peppers.
Hump day.
I think this is the only lasting remnant of one James, a.k.a. Jimmy Chest Hair Harrelson.
It's hump day.
Don't even know who that is.
Mike.
Yeah.
What day is it, Mike?
James Harrelson
Oh, okay, wait. I'm there now.
Hump day.
was a producer here
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
for some time, and then he moved to Ohio.
It's hump day.
And one day, randomly, Jimmy Chest Hair just started playing the Humpty Bump on a Wednesday.
Hump day.
Very organic.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I did not ask him to do it.
It's hump day.
Just did it.
Hump day.
And it worked.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
See, sometimes you take chances.
It's hump day.
Sometimes you do bits and they work.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
And then sometimes you do things like Ryan's Wise.
Hump day.
And you leave them in their bloodied, rotting carcasses far down the road of radio past.
It's hump day.
Saints practice today.
Hump day.
LSU practice today.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We didn't get to go to LSU practice.
It's hump day.
We got Bourbon Dictionary today.
Hump day.
We got Cole Kublik today.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We got J-Boy Jake Crane today.
It's hump day.
We got Nick Kelly previewing the Alabama Crimson Tide today.
Hump day.
You think he's going to pick him to go to the playoff?
Probably.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
You think I'm going to pick him to go 9-3 and miss the playoff?
Yes.
Oh,
It's
you
hump
damn
day.
right. I mean, Kalen DeBose.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Welcome to your new reality.
Hump day.
Why people keep giving Alabama the benefit of the doubt?
It's hump day.
Just because they got a numeral on the side of their helmet instead of a logo?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
What, you think Bear Bryant's coming back from the dead?
Hump day.
You think Nick Saban's leaving his chair next to McAfee?
It's hump day.
You think old Elmer Fudd over there on the sideline wearing his too big dry fit t-shirt with his pot belly sticking out and a loss to Vanderbilt in the construction zone is going to save you from 9-3 with the first year starting quarterback Ty Simpson?
Mike.
You
What day is it, Mike?
show damn mind.
Hump day.
Telling y'all from the day Nick walked away.
It's hump day.
9-3 coming right up your donkey.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Tell me if this sounds familiar, LSU fans.
Hump day.
Man, we got a lot of talent on defense.
It's hump day.
We got a good offensive line.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We got some receivers, too, that are probably playing in the NFL.
It's hump day.
You got a quarterback? No, we ain't got a quarterback.
Hump day.
What does that sound like?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
That sounds like the Les Miles era.
Hump day.
Enjoy 9-3. All right, we'll get
It's
going.
hump day.
We'll get going. Okay, thank you. Is this the first time we've ever run all the way through the Humpty Bump? Maybe so. You get me started on Alabama, though. Woo, doggy. That'll be a good time. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
All right. Cole's here in 90 minutes. We'll talk to Jake Crane of Crane & Company in hour number 3. We do have a lot to get to. Tigers practice today, no media availability. Tigers practice tomorrow, no media availability. Next time we're allowed in is Friday. We get to watch the whole practice. Saturday, they're going to scrimmage. We do not get to watch. And it makes a lot of sense. They're probably, I'm certain, they're getting to the nitty-gritty here at the end of camp where they're going to really start honing in on what that plan's going to be as they start to turn the page toward Clemson. So I would imagine they're going to be showing us less and less here as we move forward, which is understandable. Something we have not spent a lot of time talking about here throughout the beginning of Saints training camp are updates on Foster Moreau and Taysom Hill. And it's understandable. It's a little out of sight, out of mind. Of course, Taysom was injured at the beginning of December, devastating knee injury. Foster was injured quite literally in the last game of the season at the beginning of January against Tampa in Week 18. Both of them serious knee injuries that required surgery. And up until this point, we just haven't heard a lot about them other than the guys being out there, maybe doing some work on the side. Well, when Kellen Moore met with reporters on Tuesday night, remember the Saints are in L.A., so it was a 2-hour time difference. They're practicing. They start practice at 6 Central, 4 Pacific. So when Kellen Moore's meeting with reporters, it's like 9 o'clock here. Kellen Moore was asked for an update on Taysom Hill and Foster Moreau, and it's succinct but not good.
They're doing an excellent job. They're still in the rehab process. They're not, getting ready to get on the field anytime soon. So they're doing an excellent job. They're in meetings every day. They're a part of this. They can't do anything more than what they're doing right now.
They can't do anything more than they're doing right now. They're not close to getting on the field. Remember, if they start the season on PUP, they're not even it's physically unable to perform. Sometimes you hear people say the PUP list. That's what that is. You're not even eligible to return until after the 4th game. So if you're looking at New Orleans with Taysom and with Foster Moreau, the best case scenario, is that they would be activated off of the PUP list after the 4th game. They open up Cardinals, Niners, at the Seahawks, at the Bills, and then October the 5th, they're home against the Giants. Like, best case, that's where you'd be targeting. But generally, if you activate someone off of PUP, then you've got the 21-day ramp-up window. So in theory, it could be 7 weeks if you activate them. So, I mean, it may not be until November, end of October, beginning of November, if you see those guys at all this year. And, if you just follow the typical timeline for an ACL, and listen, Taysom's was apparently multiple ligaments and multiple injuries and very significant. I mean, you're talking about, an 8 to 12 month timeline. And that was December. So, I mean, realistically, if you're just split the difference and you go 10 months, you're looking at October for Taysom Hill, best case. Foster's, again, was in January. So, do they make it back? What would you even be playing for at that point? I don't know. But it's why I'll continue to underscore, I think, the importance of the tight end position in these preseason games and in training camp. Because you are dangerously thin right there. Not in numbers. The weird thing is you have this you have this glut of bodies. You just don't have a good option. Now, you've got Juwan Johnson, but we all know Juwan Johnson is a pass-catching tight end. He's not the run-blocking tight end, and he's not the hybrid. If you look at what a year ago Kellen Moore had in Philly with Dallas Goedert, he's the hybrid. Dallas Goedert last year caught 42 balls for just under 500 yards and a couple of scores on the Super Bowl team, which, by the way, had A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Like, they didn't need Dallas Goedert to go be a 100-tackle guy. By the way, Dallas Goedert ripped the Saints' heart out in the Superdome last year with the long catch and run he had late in the game. But he had that potential. But he's also a guy that doesn't make you predictable by personnel. Like, he is the modern tight end, the guy that's athletic enough to be a pass catcher, a really dynamic pass catcher, but physical enough to be a blocker. That's why Mason Taylor is such an intriguing prospect at the NFL level. Anyway, outside, so you don't have that guy. You've got Juwan Johnson, who's really a one-trick pony. Everyone else you have, Michael Jacobson, Moliki Mataval, who's the 7th-round pick out of UCLA, Jack Stoll, Trayton Welch, and then you just re-signed Seth Green again, who, remember, Seth Green was with the Saints. He was let go. He had been in the UFL. So that's sort of an on-again, off-again thing there as they have roster spots and a lot of movement. If you just look at the game against the Chargers on Sunday, Jack Stoll, his PFF grade was a 40.9. That was the 3rd lowest on the team. That ain't great. Neither was Trayton Welch, who was a 46.8. By the way, the guy who's going to be your starter, Juwan Johnson, was at a 50, one of the worst on the team. Moliki Mataval was at a 54, and Michael Jacobson was a 55.7. That was the high watermark, was Jacobson at a 55.7. Bottom line is, you really don't have a good option right now at tight end outside of Juwan Johnson. And even if you look beyond Goddard, remember, not only did they have Goddard last year, but they also had Calcaterra in Philly, who caught 24 passes for just under 300 yards, but that's just another option when they went 2 tight end sets. So you need that. I mean, even think back to when Kellen Moore was in Dallas and he had Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz in 22, which was Kellen Moore's last year in Dallas, caught 57 balls for just under 600 yards and 5 touchdowns. It's an important part of Kellen Moore's offense, and you just don't have it right now. And Foster Moreau really is the guy that's kind of the prototype. I mean, Taysom is still just his slash role. The prototype is Foster Moreau, so that's really the guy in this offense you're looking to replace, who could line up there alongside Juwan Johnson, those 2 tight end sets. So something to follow as they continue to move through camp. But the update from Kellen Moore on Taysom and Foster, not good. I mean, plan to not have them certainly through September, maybe for the entire season. At least I think you have to approach it that way, like there's at least a possibility that you wouldn't have either guy this year. Plan accordingly. All right, it's After Further Review. Show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of your New Orleans Saints, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. Saints are in the Dome this weekend against Jacksonville on Sunday. You're going to be in the Dome. Make sure you get your foam in the Dome and make it an ice cold Bud Light, the official beer of your New Orleans Saints. Our friends over at Mockler Beverage, great partners of the Saints, of LSU Athletics, and of us here on AFR. Oh, on Monday, we will have the new LSU Bud Light bottle, the 16-ounce aluminum bottle. Get ready. Tailgate season's almost here. We'll get to unveil the new bottle on the show on Monday. Okay, let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Speaking of the Tigers, as we take a breath from fall camp with a couple of days where we don't have access, I was scrolling through my text line yesterday, the show text line, where a lot of you asked questions and comments. And there was one in particular about the offensive line that I want to address, and we'll do that when we come back on AFR.
After Further Review.
We're brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown, 2 amazing hotel properties in Baton Rouge. Watermark Downtown, the Renaissance right there on Bluebonnet near I-10, which means it's easy access to everything. Let's face it, if you live in Baton Rouge, you've been through Baton Rouge, you know this. Most directions about how to get around Baton Rouge start with get on I-10 and get off on Seagan, Bluebonnet, Eston College. You know the drill. Well, the Renaissance is right there on Bluebonnet near I-10. Gorgeous, sprawling hotel with all the amenities. Gym, fitness, of course, the fitness center, the business center. I always talk about Tallulah inside the Renaissance Hotel. Great spot for a business lunch, spot to have a cocktail on a Thursday, Friday night after work. You want to pop in. A place that if you're going going to the movies, you're going to shop at Perkins Row, or going to the mall, you can always pop into Tallulah right across the street right there. It's inside the Renaissance Hotel. 2 great locations. It's the Watermark and Renaissance Baton Rouge.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Saw them at Jazz Fest.
When was that?
2009? 9er?
In their prime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I wasn't super keen on seeing them because who was on the other stage? Tom Petty was playing opposite. No. It was Bon Jovi.
Oh.
And I was like, I want to go watch Bon Jovi, not Kings of Leon. So I went back and forth.
Yeah.
But good band there, the Kings of Leon.
Good,
Not bad. Anyway. All right, it's after further review. Thanks for hanging out. Taylor Calandro's here in about 15 minutes for Bourbon Dictionary. Or about 20 minutes from 25. What am I doing? 25 minutes from right now for Bourbon Dictionary. I always encourage you to text me on my show text line. 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. A guy named Tommy sent me a text and said, Matt, it's getting to be about the time for you to admit the offensive line is going to be a problem for this team. Weston Davis running laps because they can't stay on sides. Sad. Several other offensive breakdowns due to offensive line play. Skilled offensive players being able to pull out the big play is no way to run an offense. Hope the next 2 days without media availability prove to be the hardest of camp. Hope to see improvement by the weekend from Tommy. I replied to Tommy, said, hey, Tommy, Weston Davis hasn't been jumping off sides a bunch. He did it one time the other day in the goal line drill. They replaced him with Ori Williams. Carius Kern's the one that's been having a problem, and he's a true freshman who's probably not going to play a ton. If you have to rely on Carius Kern, it's probably a problem. And to his point about skilled players breaking out the big plays, not a way to run an offense. Partly agree with you, except for the fact that Joe Sloan repeatedly in his press conference and press availability last week talked about explosives and the explosive plays, and it's just very clear that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to work explosive plays into their offense. Now, I am not dismissing the concern about the offensive line. It is justified. You had do a blind survey here, a blind resume. And if I told you, hey, there's a team that's losing 4 starters on their offensive line. All 4 of them just went to the NFL draft. One of them was taken 4th overall. You're probably going to assume that line is not going to be as good the next year with all that you lost. That's a right assumption. I'm right there with you. It's why I kind of am vacillating a bit on this group. But I also look at the offense from last year, and they were 107th in the country in rush offense. This group a year ago was outstanding at pass protection. They allowed the 10th fewest sacks in the country. Say that again. Last year, 2024, LSU allowed the 10th fewest sacks in America. Only 9 schools allowed fewer sacks. And let's be honest, 3 of them are the service academies because they don't throw the ball. So among teams that actually try to run an offense and throw the ball, LSU is really good at protecting their passer. They really struggled to run the ball because they didn't have the explosives. They didn't have to respect LSU's ability to beat you deep, and so safeties crowded the box, and that made it challenging. And you didn't have Jaden Daniels, who could erase a lot of those issues because he was just magnificent. And my goodness, he was, I mean, he makes NFL defenses look slow and silly. We saw what he did in college. He was just out. He was sensational. And you don't have that element with Garrett Nussmeier. So I'm not at a point where I'm going to tell you this offensive line is going to be atrocious, because I don't think that's the case. I asked Joe Sloan on Friday to assess his offensive line, and I intentionally left it open-ended. It wasn't a leading question. Joe, how concerned are you about ... Joe, would you how important is it to have all those are leading questions. Just an open-ended question. Give me an assessment of the offensive line and listen to how he laid it out for you.
Obviously, we have a lot of competition at guard. And I think you're seeing flashes of different guys daily who are playing really well. I think our tackles, the two guys coming into spring, where those two guys are going to be first-year starters. And I think definitely when you watch, they have been excellent. Excellent in terms of their growth, right? They got to keep coming. They got to get better every day. But I've been really pleased with what they've done. And I think Braylon's played extremely good at center. And I think we have a couple other guys who could, we have some depth at center, which is nice. And then I think, you see some of the young guys who are starting to come on.
That's good. Just for the point, he said Braylon's been outstanding at center. The tackles have been excellent. And he said excellent in terms of ... because he tried to clarify. But he said the tackles have been excellent. Tyree Adams, Weston Davis. He said Braylon Moore's been outstanding, which he has been. He started by saying we have good competition at the guards. That's your answer. Your center has been awesome. I don't worry about Braylon Moore. He started 24 games in college at Virginia Tech, and you go out there and watch him. I don't think he's had an errant snap yet. Whenever they do the pass rush drills, he is a brick wall. He is so good at establishing his base, getting his hands up. He is excellent in pass protection. The tackles have been really good. You heard him say there. You're set there with Adams and Davis. The question is the guards. And I even told you this yesterday. DJ Chester, who's been your first-team left guard, Cohen Eccles replaced him yesterday in the team periods as first-team left guard. Now, I was not at practice today, but some people who were kind of maybe relayed to me that Chester was back running first team at left guard. And we'll see as we get more updates how that goes and what they ultimately do. But I think that's definitely a concern, is how you play at guard, no doubt. But I think it's also so important to remember how they're trying to piece together this offense this year. And I don't know that you're going to look at this in terms of what we think of a traditional run game, where you have these maulers on the offensive line with a fullback and a power. It's not going to be that. Joe Sloan was asked in that same press conference about the progress they've made in the running game. Give a listen.
We got to run the football, right? You got to run the football in the SEC. And I think we've looked at some scheme things. We've looked at some personnel things, right? It's a combination. I think having Caden Durham as a second-year player, obviously he's an electric player and a really good football player, but he still was a true freshman last year that came in June, right? He's a lot better football player today than he was at this time last year. And I think Garrett's understanding of how he can help. And then there's some schematic things where we're going to be able to put some guys in positions to make sure we can create some more explosives in the run game. And I think that's the key, right, is creating explosives in the run game.
Your offensive coordinator. So to the point that Tommy sent in his text saying, I'll read you the text again from the listener, Tommy, who said, skilled offensive players being able to pull out the big play is no way to run an offense. But understand, Tommy, we're just watching tidbits of practice. If that's what they're we don't know what maybe they're trying to set up a defense to be able to hit the big play. Maybe that, and Joe Sloan continues to tell you that's what they're trying to work into the explosive. And he just told you personnel and scheme. Well, personnel is pretty obvious. Personnel is obvious. Caden Durham's a year older. Caleb Jackson's in better shape. You've got Juwan Johnson back there now as well. Harlem Berry's a 5-star coming in. And then the other thing he said is scheme. The very first play of the team period that we got to watch on Tuesday, Xavion Thomas took the first carry from the running back spot. So you could take a receiver, motion him into the backfield, and hand the ball off to him as a running back. We've seen Juwan Johnson line up as a running back and also as a Wildcat quarterback. In that same period, we saw Juwan Johnson line up as the quarterback, and they direct snapped to Caleb Jackson. Now, Caleb Jackson fumbled it, and Mansour Delane scooped and scored 80 yards. Not exactly what you want to see. But the point is, they're even showing us personnel and scheme, they've got, you heard what Joe said it, like, we've got to run. Can you play just the very beginning of that again, I believe? It was just like he said, we've got to run the ball better.
We got to run the football, right? You got to run
That's it. We got to run the football. They were 107th in the country a year ago. And so be it personnel or scheme, they're going to do it this year. And it's not all going to be on the offensive line lining up and just power eye running over people. It's going to look different. I keep telling you this. It's going to be jet sweeps. It's going to be Xavier Thomas motioning in the backfield. It's going to be direct snaps to Caden Durham or Harlan Berry or Juwan Johnson. Like, it's going to be different. Like, Nuss is going to have opportunities to run. I'm not telling you Nuss is running for 500 yards, but he ain't running for negative 38 again. I'll guarantee you that much. So it's very intentional. They understand they have to be better there. And I think a lot of that creativity, hopefully anyway, early, can mask some of the continuity that they have to put together on the offensive line. Again, I'm not sitting here dismissing the questions about the offensive line. It is everyone's biggest question, and rightfully so. You're replacing 4 NFL players that combined for 170 career games played. I am not dismissing those questions or concerns. I'm just telling you what I have seen. Braylon Moore is very good at center. He's played a ton. They are confident in their tackles, who are very athletic young players. Weston Davis was a 5-star. He should be good enough to play. You brought in Josh Thompson, who's a 2-year starter at Northwestern. And DJ Chester started 13 games for you. Now he's in his more natural position. You've got talented enough guys that have to come together and play as one. And while they try to figure that out and learn to play together, I think scheme and personnel are things that could overcome it. At least that's the hope as they begin this season. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. School started. Yesterday was Drew's first day. I encourage you parents, make sure you bring your kiddos for their annual eye exam. Back to school is a great reminder of a time to schedule the annual eye exam. Make sure your kiddos are getting that. Make sure they can see the board. Make sure they can see in school. I started wearing glasses in the 6th grade, got contacts in the 8th grade, and thank God for Dr. Blake Williamson, because for the last 7 years now I've been able to see without contacts and glasses because I finally did it, had LASIK, and I'm like so many others that said, best money ever spent, wish I had done it a decade sooner. You'll find the exact same. So if you want to ditch the contacts and glasses forever, go see Dr. Blake Williamson, get evaluated, see if there's a refractive procedure that's right for you so you can ditch the contacts and glasses forever. And in the meantime, make sure you schedule that annual eye exam for your kiddos as it's back to school time. 8 locations of the Williamson Eye Center, the greater Baton Rouge area, including Lutcher and the River Parishes, Zachary, St. Francisville, Denham, Baton Rouge, all over the place. It's WilliamsonEye.com, Williamson, EYE.com. Okay, y'all. It is After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. We'll knock out a quick break. Bourbon Dictionary in 15 minutes. We'll go around the SEC next.
AFR.
Action Industries is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Tell you the website all the time. You can check them out there, actionindinc.com, Action Industries Incorporated, actionindinc.com. You know, if you want to have a great outcome with your industrial project, Action Industries can assure that. They've been around since 1982, 43 years in business right here, servicing the petrochemical refinery markets, the plants up and down the river, and it's turnaround season. Really, for another couple months, we're still in turnaround season. So if you got that turnaround coming up and you're looking for a great local company to bid your job, remember Action Industries. Listen, if you have, say it all the time, you have the $200 million mega project, that's not them. They can help supplement your $200 million job with their workforce. But their sweet spot is that 100-person job where you will get their undivided attention. It's Action Industries. Innovation in action.
After Further Review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
All right, glad to have you aboard with us here. Taylor Calandro, in about 10 minutes, we'll do Bourbon Dictionary. You get your emails or text in. You can email it or questions in. Email us, tweet us, text us. 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. The New Orleans, something we'll talk about as well coming up a bit later. The New Orleans Saints have made some roster moves with Will Clapp going to IR and the injury, the turf toe injury to Trevor Penning. The Saints had a deluge of players come work out. Thank you. At practice on Tuesday out in LA. And as a result of that, they did sign a few players. They added, what we talked about already, tight end Seth Green is back. They added defensive tackle Jaden Peavy, wide receiver Roderick Daniels. Daniels is 5'10", 180, former SMU Mustang. Saints have added a lot of SMU players over the years. Peavy's a big defensive lineman, 6'5", 308. He's been bounced around the NFL a good bit with the Titans, Panthers, Browns, Texans. The most interesting player, though, I think, we'll talk about this a bit more later in detail, but the most interesting player I think that they added is Mike Panasiuk, and he's an interior offensive lineman. And the reason I'll continue to say I think this is a really significant add is, well, let me not overstate the add. It's more the position they're looking to address, because I think Will Clapp was a shoo-in to make this team. And you can downplay a backup or rotational offensive lineman, but like we always talk about in the NFL, if you make the active roster, you're going to play on game day. And like I can't help but think back to week 3, the Saints are playing the Eagles. It's the first series of the game, and Eric McCoy goes down with the groin injury. Then all of a sudden, Lucas Patrick is shifting over and now playing center. And that's just, in the NFL, there is no, it's a freshman who was thrown into action early. No, like, it's why you play. You're getting paid. The expectation is you go out there and you handle your business. And listen, I understand for Lucas Patrick, who started at left guard in that game, sliding over and now all of a sudden being lined up head up on Jalen Carter, who's a monster, is an unenviable task, but that's what you have to do. And so, especially considering all the injuries we saw on the offensive line from the Saints a year ago, it underscores the importance of having your rotational depth. And it's not just last year. I can think back to guys like, remember Sinio Kelmente? Who was a good player, who was both a guy that could be on the interior. We saw Sinio Kelmente spot duty whenever there were injuries to Teron Armstead. He's kicking in there playing left tackle. Same thing with Andrus Peat. I mean, he was your starting left guard, but at times you had to kick out and play left tackle. It's why you have to have versatility. It's what made Will Clapp a really valuable piece. An 8-year veteran who had been a durable player, could play center guard. That made Will Clapp very valuable. Well, his injury means now you got to find a replacement for that guy. And maybe, Mike Panasiuk could be that guy. He's 27. He was all XFL, and then he was all UFL with the St. Louis Battlehawks here in recent years. Interesting, because he started his career at Michigan State. He was a defensive lineman. When he got into the NFL, he switched to the offensive side of the ball. So he never played offensive line until he got to the NFL, which is remarkable. And he's played for the Raiders, the Panthers, the Colts. And so he was there on a tryout basis on Tuesday with New Orleans, and he was working out with them. They signed him. The Saints haven't officially announced this on the transaction wire yet, but that's a guy who you would presume is going to have an opportunity to make this team, because with Will Clapp on IR, you have to find a versatile interior offensive lineman that can play center and both guard spots in the event that somebody goes down. You have to have that versatility. So just one to watch here as the Saints continue practice. So practice again today, Thursday. They fly today, Wednesday. Tomorrow, Thursday, they're scheduled to practice with the Rams in a joint practice. They'll fly home Friday, have a walkthrough Saturday, and then Sunday they'll play their first home preseason game against Jacksonville. All right, it's After Further Review brought to you by Parrish Construction and Roofing. I was over at the office earlier today. Crews were hard at work, man. Commercial, residential, we do it all. Even do gutters and soft washing. So, man, you look at your roof and you see all those ugly brown and black streaks. That just could be algae growing on your roof. You might just need a soft wash. It'll clean it, beautify it, and extend the life so it's not eating away at the contents of your roof. Let us help you out. It's Parrish Construction and Roofing. Maybe you're seeing water spots on the ceiling. You notice you're missing shingles. You look at the downspouts of your gutters, and you start to see some of those granules in the driveway at the downspout. That's a good indication that you probably had roof damage. It's time to get that thing inspected. Let us help you out. Parish Construction and Roofing. Go to the website at parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Fill out the form on the homepage, parishbuilt.com. We'd love to help you out. Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com. Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Florida Gators.
Florida's going to honor Urban Meyer during a 2025 home game. Scott Strickland announced this week that they'll bring back the two-time national championship winning head coach. The College Football Hall of Fame announced Meyer's election this past January. Herb is 61 years old, won 2 national titles during his 6 seasons as the Florida head coach. Hard to believe it was only 6 seasons.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
The Tennessee Adidas deal reportedly includes a multi-million-dollar NIL component. After more than a decade, Tennessee announced it's returning now to Adidas as part of a new 10-year contract. And with that, there will also be, quote, unprecedented NIL opportunities for the players. That, according to our buddy Ross Dellinger over at Yahoo. The NIL component could be worth $10 million alone. Of course, in an NIL and revenue sharing era, every school is looking for new revenue options. This is one that Tennessee is exploring.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
And South Carolina coach Dawn Staley recently sat down with former First Lady Michelle Obama on her podcast and talked about the attention in women's sports. And she said that they are now, the South Carolina women's basketball players will sign NDAs for revenue sharing. We know that student athletes will be able to share in $20.5 million of the revenue for the athletic department. Every school can determine how it divvies up that $20.5 million. But South Carolina will make their women's basketball student athletes sign NDAs so the public won't know who gets what. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Our Hump Day shows are brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. It's not just ED treatments. Yes, they do that, but it's so much more. Hormone replacement therapy. They have dozens of peptides that they offer, like BPC 157, NAD+. I was over at Goodwood earlier today. I'm starting my second cycle of BPC 157. I was on an 8-week cycle, 8 weeks on, 8 weeks off, and now I'm going to do a 28-day on, because it was just weekdays before with the weekends off. Now I'm 28 days on. I'll be able to tell definitively just how much better I feel. So can't wait to share that with you. Peptides are incredible. Nobody does it better. Lowest prices, never any contracts. Learn more, yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Okay, Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro to wrap up hour number 1 next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Duplessis Builders, duplessisbuilders.net, duplessisbuilders.net. Pretty excited. I will be able to tell you after this weekend about some very, very, very exciting new NIL partners that Duplessis is, partnerships that Duplessis is embarking upon. Of course, here in recent years, you've seen a lot of the different NIL deals we've done. Most recently, Jacob Myers with the LSU baseball team. But high school NIL, current LSU Tigers. Listen, Derek doesn't hide it. He's an LSU alum, loves the Tigers, wants to help where he can, and work hand-in-hand synergistically with his business. So we're really excited to be able to have that NIL program with Duplessis carry on this football season. So stay tuned. Be able to tell you about a lot of really exciting NIL deals with Duplessis. And, of course, if you're thinking about building a pool, I mean, Pool and Spa Magazine just named him one of the top 50 pool builders in America. Why would you call anyone else? DuplessisBuilders.net. Check them out online at DuplessisBuilders.net.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com. They're the gang with the slang.
Keep it 100. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
I don't understand.
All right, wrapping up hour number one. Get your booze questions in. Email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Taylor's with us. How are you, dude?
Good. Moose didn't work and when the lead-in music's good.
My guy's out here catching strays, but he deserves it. What's new?
I've just noticed that. It's always solid when is that Alondra?
Yes. Well, the reality is we tell Moose to play unlicensed music because the licensed music is always what gets us banned on YouTube. So Alondra uses her own discretion and plays great songs, but they're going to get us banned on YouTube. So when I start getting emails and tweets and messages after the show, about an hour after the show, where's the show? Well, Alondra decided to play, Nirvana, which I love, but that's why it's banned right now. Or Kings of Leon. What's new?
Over the weekend, I tried DDH Ghost Daydream from Parrish. It is a double dry hopped IPA with lactose and milk sugar. I don't know if that's your style, the lactose and the milk sugar.
I don't even know what that is.
It lends itself to a creamier IPA with the lactose and the milk sugar, and a little sweeter too. I love that style if it's done correctly, and this is done really good. They're kind of pricey. They're $22 a 4-pack. It's a really good beer though. That's about it. It's been slow as far as whiskey, so
okay.
That's really doing that in.
So I was talking to Leighton over at Supper Club, and they got a bottle of Last Drop in. Have you heard of it?
Last Drop Buffalo Trace?
Yeah.
So Last Drop used to be a charity-only bottle. Now, I don't know if they must not be doing it charity-only anymore, but that's like a really slim-run deal that they've done once or twice before. I'm just not super familiar with it.
So it's a blend of barrels, the youngest of which is 27-year-old juice. There's some 30-year-old juice in there as well. There were only 508 bottles, and Supper Club got one of them.
So what are they doing with it?
They opened it. They're selling it.
Oh, they're selling it. Well, do you know how much it is?
Well, I'm sure, I don't know exactly what it is for an ounce, but I'm sure pricey. But if you want to try something you've never ever tried before, or never try again, that's pretty good opportunity.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've seen a bottle of it before, but I swear it was for a charity cause or something. I'm gonna have to ask about that. Super limited run if it's 500 bottles.
508 bottles in the world. No doubt the one at Supper Club is the only one in Louisiana. At least the only one in Louisiana that will be available for anyone to try to go purchase an ounce, because it's just not going to be available anywhere.
Right.
All right, let's get your questions in. You can email us, tweet us, or text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Greg said, ask Taylor, what's an alcohol region or destination, either international or within the States, you want to go but have not been able to visit yet?
A destination? I would say Cognac, France, because I just know that not a lot of people go. It's a smaller town, and from what I've heard, those distilleries are pretty cool and very, very old.
Is it so Cognac is specifically from Cognac, like Champagne, right? Like Champagne is only from Champagne or Burgundy, right? Those are all from Burgundy, France. Right?
In America with brandy, which is basically the same.
We lost him. All right, see if we can call him back. All right, we'll see if we can get Taylor back real quick. While we dial him back and get your questions in, and gives me a good opportunity to remind you about Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows door siding, they do shutters as well over at Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. When it's 93 degrees, your AC is working overtime, you want to lower your energy bills, energy-efficient replacement windows are a great option. At Relief Windows, they'll actually do this test. They'll hold a light bulb above a regular pane glass window and then their energy-efficient window, and you could see the temperature difference right in front of you. I mean, you want to talk about about validation. It shows you right there just how much the difference is and how much money you will save on your energy bill. So over time, it's an investment in your home. You're going to end up lowering your energy bills. As an investment, it's going to pay for itself. And then, of course, the resale value of your home increases as well. It's Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. 288-8138, 288-8138, or reliefwindows.com. All right, we got Taylor back. Sorry about that. Your phone went away, and you were talking about, like, different regions in France or something like that.
Oh, yeah, no, I was talking about cognac. I must have lost service. I'm going down Florida Boulevard.
All right. Okay, well, let's do this, because I got like 30 seconds. There's two more questions I want to get to. Ask Taylor, Any Truth E.H. Taylor and Eagle Rare becoming more readily available?
I hope so. I mean, the rumor is they've made a lot of all of it. So, and I've seen a slowdown in bourbon. I would have a hard time saying no, but I wouldn't say yes either.
Matthew asked Taylor, are you getting the Penelope Black Walnut Old Fashioned RTD?
Yes, I would imagine it's coming. The peach one we didn't get a whole lot of.
I've got 3
seconds. If we do get it, it won't be a lot.
I've got 3 seconds. Bye.
AFR.
Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar. Our Lady of the Lake is a championship health partner of LSU Athletics, and it's really been my pleasure to be able to tell you about Our Lady of the Lake and the many different ways that they continue to be interwoven within the fabric of not just LSU Athletics, but, of course, the university as a whole and all of our communities. You know, the Franciscan missionaries of Our Lady, the sisters, have had this incredible mission for more than a century to advance healthcare throughout their entire Franciscan missionaries of Our Lady healthcare system. It's a multi-state system with hospitals and clinics addressing every type of healthcare, from pediatrics and orthopedics to general health and cancer and heart health and stroke. Learn more at olrmc.com/LSU. It's Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, championship health partners. Together, we roar.